You're getting like a 10 for 1 right now. This is boxing. This is the beauty of the sport. This is what makes you a pugilist, okay? Oh, beautiful. Keep it flowing. Everybody wants to know how to box a southpaw. Everybody who's a southpaw wants to learn how to box the opposite stance. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna give away all the secrets. We're gonna teach you so many great things, man. And luckily, we got a guy right here who can box both stands, orthodox and southpaw, and fast in the chambers. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna learn a lot. You guys made a very wise decision. So let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it. The receipt. As soon as he throws that, pop, boom. Okay.
When I'm throwing the cross, what makes me punch so effective is Now this is super advanced again, guys. This isn't for the beginners.
Really good training tool for people out there who are just learning how to box. You guys can actually follow along and do all of these combinations with Eddie, or you can pick the ones that you're able to do and just focus on those until you get better. And for even some of you advanced guys, because I know how it is, sometimes you just lose ideas. I don't know what other combinations to throw. I did one of the basic combinations. What else do I throw? So we went ahead and put some thought into how we can go ahead and give you as much variety as possible. And now we're gonna finish with the hook upstairs. These body head combinations are crucial because if you want to land your body shots, you have to get your opponent distracted by throwing a headshot. And that's it, guys. So this is gonna be really good, really informative boxing. Welcome to How to Shadow Box. This is a very important course, guys, and a course that many people have been asking me for a very long time. Shadow boxing is a very crucial part of your training regimen. I've told people many times if we had to make a list of the most important things of training, shadow boxing ranks in the top 2. And the reason for that is if you can't do the techniques that you are learning without somebody in front of you, how do you plan to do it when somebody is in front of you? One of the main benefits from shadow boxing is you can actually do it with no equipment, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it on the ground like this. You can do it in a boxing ring. You could do it outside. You could do it in front of a mirror. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the techniques, show you different things that you can do. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Your boy Coach Anthony, and of course, none other than world-class professional fighter, Fast Eddie Chambers. Black Friday, everybody's favorite time of the year. But why are we gonna wait? We ain't waiting until Black Friday. I wanna give you guys the biggest opportunity that I have ever given to grab all 16 of my masterclass courses for over 90% off. I've sold these courses previously for $300 a pop, and now you can grab all 16 for less than the price of one. I want you guys to head over to CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, and if you want to grab one course at a time, you can also grab those courses for only $47. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, this sale is not gonna last. So what I'm gonna need you to do is go to the website and grab it now, because as soon as I raise the prices, not only am I gonna raise the prices, I'm gonna charge more than I've ever charged, because the value inside of these courses are second to none. Oh, and how can I forget? Every single person who grabs the Master Boxing Bundle is gonna get enrolled to the CA Boxing University, which is a private community where you can upload your sparring, ask questions 24/7, show your heavy bag work, basically share your journey with a bunch of like-minded people. This is a no-brainer, guys. So you guys already know what to do. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Box now. Yo, Eddie. Yeah, this is going through all the old commercials, man. You missed it, man. Some of the old commercials.
You missed the commercials.
through them all, man, checking them out, man. I'm just seeing how they got better over time, man. But what's going on, man? How's everything going, man?
Oh, busy day, busy long day, but hey, this is what we got to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Unfortunately, I got on here a little bit later than I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's been a hell of a month, man. It's been a hell of a ride. No Days Off November is coming to an end, man. This is
Ooh.
the episode before the last. Tomorrow's the last day of November. And then we're headed into December. Also,
Mm.
I'm letting the sale rock out till tomorrow. I was gonna cut it on Monday at the end of Monday, and then I was like, you know what, man, why cut it like when there's 2 days left in the month? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
however, I did raise the price of the individual courses. So the individual courses right now went from 47 to 97, which is still $200 cheaper than what we were charging. However, people already complaining. I already had people hit me up. Hey, man, you raised the $47 courses. I'm like, listen, I've been talking about this shit every single day for the month of November, literally sending like 3 emails a day, talking to people daily. You know what I'm saying? If you waited till the sale was over to hit me up for it, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say, but you can still get the Master Boxing Bundle for $297 until tomorrow. And once we raise the pricing on that, you'll never see $297 again. I can never play myself and go that cheap again, Eddie. I remember when I told you originally that I was going to drop the price to $297. Like, what was your first thoughts when I told you that? Considering you're in all the questions? Yeah, like what
this
would you
right,
think?
this right here, like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
no, but look, I understand it's not always about, you know, getting the money entirely. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's about passing on the information.
What you mean it's not
But
always
I,
about
but wait, don't get me wrong. That is always getting the bag is always going to be important. There's no question about it.
Sure.
But getting the information out there is also important. So I think this was kind of like a happy medium. I mean, I don't know about how as a happy medium, but
Think about it though, Eddie. Like we've given 1,000 videos on YouTube
for free.
free, right? And people think that you get rich on YouTube. Let me give you guys an inside scoop. You don't make that much money on YouTube unless you're in the millions. Like, and sometimes even in certain niches, I don't make a lot of money on YouTube. I do the videos. When I first got into producing boxing instructional videos, it was simply because I enjoyed teaching so much that I just knew I wanted to get that information out. I just wanted to get it out. You know, when you just got some new information, you just want to like share it with people, whether it's fitness. Like for instance, I know people who got into fitness, right? They were never fitness people before. And as soon as they get into shape, now they want to like preach fitness.
They want to share it.
Or somebody gets like successful in business. As soon as they get successful in business, they want to share business tips and ideas. Why? Because I think as human beings, it's in us to want to share something that we know has personally worked for us. If it personally worked for me, I want to share it. I know it's personally worked for Eddie. Like you, Eddie, you like to take, you do that cleanse. You know what I'm saying? You stuck to a vegan diet. You preach benefits to that. Nobody's paying you to talk about that stuff. Nobody pays you to talk about basketball. But these are things that has helped you with your life that you want to talk about. So I think boxing has obviously benefited you. I mean, you fought for the heavyweight championship of the world. You're undefeated fighter for many years. You made millions of dollars. For those who don't know, you're literally looking at a man who's been a millionaire before. So he knows what it's like to be a millionaire. He knows what it's like to be super poor. He knows how it's like to be in the middle somewhere. And you know what I'm saying? And all these things, this all came through the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Boxing really saved my life. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for boxing, I don't know what my identity would be. I mean, I always had a thing for business. I always had ambition. However, boxing kind of gave me a lane, I guess. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, you kind of like get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? So like boxing,
100%.
it gave me a lane. Like, okay, and this is who I am. This is what I'm just gonna go ahead, lock in, focus on this. And even though I never became a professional fighter, it gave me an identity and it gave me something to latch on to, you know, I think every man's in life is searching for some sort of an identity. And a lot of times we attach it to our success. We attach it to what we do for business. We attach it to our failures. We attach it to all those things. You know what I'm saying? But at least when you find it in fitness or you find it in boxing or something like that, it's something positive. You know what I mean? Something you want to talk about it?
Yeah, no, I mean, you might not have achieved everything you wanted in boxing as a fighter, but boxing took you so many different places and now gotten you to that level as a coach. So, and look how many people you've touched with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty big thing you've done. Look at your following now, your fame now. You go to fights, and it's like I go to fights. I remember I used to go to fights constantly, and when I would go to fights, yo, Eddie Chambers, such and now it's Coach Ant. Everybody know Coach Ant. You know what I'm saying? So that's a hell of a thing to be proud of. It's an accomplishment. You're about to have a world champion pretty soon. You know what I mean? I'm anticipating you gonna win the title. So there's a lot to be proud of in that situation. There's a lot you've used boxing and it's made you, you know, a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot. You're definitely recognizable by many. You know what I'm saying? And boxing is the reason for that. Me as well. I've made a decent bag at one point for boxing. You know what I mean? I've also been places that I would have never been without it. I've had relationships, Ant being one of them. If not for boxing, I would have never met Ant, one of my closest friends. You know, and a lot of things that I would have never been able to see. You know what I mean? Or rooms I would have never been in. You know, conversations with, you know, important people I would never have. The sport of boxing has given that to me. There's no question. It's given me the ability to now where I can have these little hobbies and do other things and somewhat focus on them and not have to worry about having to do things that I don't necessarily want to do. Boxing has given me an outlet to where I can utilize boxing now and make money, not from getting punched in the face, but for being able to teach the craft to other people. You know what I mean? Also being, you know, I never had a college education, but I've spent so much time because of boxing with so many different educated people, and I've learned so much. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, it's not the same, you know what I mean, as having them school smarts, but I have learned a lot through the business of boxing. You know what I mean? It's made me, you know, more, obviously more intelligent, but more, I guess, business savvy in the sense that I understand what I need to do and what things I need to see. Okay, go ahead, man.
No, I mean, no, not to cut you off, but like I got a DM the other day. He said a testimonial he sent me, and he said, "With your help, okay." And I'm reading this right now. Look, guys, so people don't think like I'm just making this up. You can clearly see that this is a DM. Okay, all right, You can see that, right? So I don't want people to think I'm just making shit up. With your help, I was able to start a $20,000 to $30,000 a month business that is helping me raise my family and become more of a leader and a role model to my students. The technique you have shared has helped me grow as an amateur boxer as well. I have 4 fights and the 5th one is on the way. I am deeply appreciated to your guidance you have shared with the world. I wish there were more boxing leaders like yourself that were a little older to show that the old school can mix with the new school. If you get a chance, I would love for you to share my story and motivate and inspire others like myself to motivate people to start boxing as well, and also for more world-class fighters around. So my whole point of sharing that's actually one of many testimonials. I try to screenshot all the testimonials over the years that I've gotten, right? I've gotten plenty. This is like a whole testimonial section. I don't even really share these. I just like to go back and read them. But my whole point is through him purchasing a master boxing bundle, he has turned that into a $20,000 to $30,000 a month gym business. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is it's the same thing with us, right? Like the lesson, like your father, however, he taught you how to box, right?
Mm-hmm.
He became a millionaire. Let's think about that for a second. Me, I learned how to box. I had mentor trainers that spent a lot of time with me and really helped me hone my craft. I don't like to talk about my money, but at the end of the day, I've been financially free for some time now. And it was due to boxing. So when we talk about learning boxing, we're talking about something that's deeper than fighting, because life is a fight. Every single day you are on this earth, you are fighting one way or another. You're either fighting to be, oh shoot, where'd you go?
I'm here.
All right. You're either fighting for life, you're fighting for success, you're fighting for opportunity. You're fighting to be heard. You're fighting to be noticed. You're fighting to be loved. You're fighting for love. You're everything, man. Every situation, anything that you really want, you're fighting. So boxing teaches you the perseverance that you need, and then with the skill set. And like when people ask me about being an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur since my early 20s. Really since my teenage years, to be honest, with different kinds of form of entrepreneurship. But as a 20-year-old guy, I've always been drawn to entrepreneurship. I never did good in school. I got kicked out of every single school I ever went to, Eddie. I kid you not. I got kicked out of a whole district, right? I couldn't go to school in District 25 anymore. I got kicked out of every single school for fighting. And I didn't know how to box at that time. I didn't really learn how to box till I moved to Florida. So in New York City, I was just fighting all the time, but I never really learned how to actually box correctly. And then from there, damn, where the fuck am I going with this? Where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? Okay, so then anyway, I got a bunch of jobs. When I moved to Florida, I was working, got fired from every freaking job, right? So work, school, all that stuff never really worked for me. But when I found boxing, I found something that I liked. And then it was like it drew me and it made me a better entrepreneur. It made me, because I learned lessons through boxing that not only helped me in the ring and how to box and defend myself, but helped me understand life. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yeah. Sorry.
Think about it. When somebody tells you to go hit the bag, like you got to take that upon yourself to actually do that work. Yeah, you have a coach, but you got to do the work.
That's right. I mean, listen, my pops, taught me everything about boxing. But one thing is for sure: when he gave the order, I had to figure out how to go do it. Now, I'm not saying he didn't teach me, he didn't show me certain things, but you got to do the work. You know what I'm saying? And for you to have done what you've done, and those testimonials say it, you've done the work. We've done the work. You know what I mean? And that's why we're here and able to get these, show these testimonials today, is because we put the work in. We did what we needed to do in order to get to this point. And even now, I still think there's plenty more work for us to do. And I think success is, already here, but I think it's good. I think there's a lot more success to grab. And we're going to continue to, ascend to the top.
No, 100%. I think that's where originally No Days Off November started from. So of course today's episode is like kind of reflecting on No Days Off, and No Days Off November started 2 years ago. I think it started 2021. Yeah, I think it was my first time. I think 2 years ago I started it. And it was just simply something I made up. I was just like, you know what can I do that's different? I was like, yo, you know what? I'm going to just go live every day on YouTube and try to come up with a different topic, answer as many questions, show the people that really genuinely follow me that we're actually legit. You can find out when somebody's legit if you never, listen, somebody might come into the stream and not know who either one of us are. I've had guys who did not know you was a fighter, Eddie. It's fucking unbelievable.
Oh yeah, no, I can believe that.
Then they'll hit me up 3 days later on the DM like, yo, I didn't know that guy was such a good fighter. I just looked him up on YouTube. I'm like, bro, that's fucking a legend you talking about. You talking about fast fucking Eddie Chambers. They don't even know what's going on. So, you get guys, they'll come to me and they'll be like, who the fuck is this guy? They'll look me up on Google. They can't find me on BoxRec. He's never fought before. Who is he to give information? You see what I'm saying? Not knowing my background, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing how deep it is. And then, but there's always one way to find out. When you are able to go live, answer the questions, demonstrate, really showcase in real time, you don't have time to edit. Get it edited. Yep. The videos proper. You ain't
got time to look shit up to see how other people do things.
You can't chat GPT this shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
This shit is right here.
Fact.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. So my channel might not have 1.5 million like some of these other YouTubers, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? We answer the questions right here for you live at real time. World class fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever questions you got, we're not gonna hesitate. We're not gonna struggle to answer. And if we don't know to answer that particular question, it ain't gonna be something that's related to boxing. Because believe me, with all this information here, we know just. Now, I'm not saying that there's not something we can learn.
I'll tell you what I'm not though. I'm not a historian. I'm not. I'm not a historian. Like people
like Mike Tyson.
Like people ask me questions like from back in the day. If you try to get me to be a historian, you will see the holes in my boxing history.
But is that holes? That's not holes. We've learned the sport through trials as well as through watching. We have our favorites. We've got, I'm not saying we're not disrespecting the history by not knowing it. Now we can still go back and reference certain fights, look into a couple things. And this is how you know that you never really stop learning, because there's always going to be something and someone you haven't seen or haven't heard of. You know what I'm saying? So you go back in history, you study, you start to say, oh, okay, I heard about this guy, but I never really seen him fight. And then you start studying him up. Then guess what? Then you start learning stuff from him, learning what they did, learning how they did things back then. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean there's holes in your game. That just means there's more that we have to learn. We still know a shit ton of information about boxing, more than a lot of people, more than most. So don't get it confused.
I don't think you ever fully learn everything about this game. It's kind of like life. No. You never fully learn anything, and there's always a different way to do things, and you're always going to learn something new. And I think that's the signs of a good teacher, when a teacher can continue to elevate, learn. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I look at things a couple of years later, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't like that before. I kind of like that now. Or I used to like that. I don't like that anymore. There's certain things that I don't even do anymore that I used to do. And I just think that that's called life, right? What did Muhammad Ali say? The man who views the world the same way as he did, 20 years ago, has wasted 20 years of his life. I might be wrong in the exact quote, but it was something along those lines. And so you're always looking to get better. You're always looking to get better and learn. So if you ever have, so people ask me all the time, how can you tell a good coach? A good coach when a coach is open-minded and is willing to at least take a look at the new information before he rules it out. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a look at this. Maybe this data right here is proving that there's a better way to do this. You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's a fact. I mean, I think, and I remember I talked to Emmanuel Stewart too, and this is crazy, back in the day, and he said, some years ago, and he said, I think it's sometimes we get a little bit too, caught up in being the boss and trying to run the gym or trying to run the fighter and tell him what to do. We don't listen to the fighters enough. Sometimes he said, fighters are smart. Sometimes they got to make adjustments on the fly in the middle of a fight. And sometimes the corner don't know what to do. So if you got a guy like a Floyd Mayweather, who was basically a coach in the ring to himself, even though he had some of the best with Roger and his pop, he still was able to make certain decisions on the fly. So go ahead.
Now let me just answer the super chat. When somebody does a super chat, Eddie, I gotta stop what I'm doing and show them love.
Yeah. I got you. No, I know what it is. I saw it pop up. I'm good.
Yeah, how do you promote yourselves, and how long did it take to be stable as a coach? I'm trying to break into the field as a regular coach, not train fighters. When you say regular coach, I'm not sure what you mean by not.
I think he means. I think he means like regular personal training, like like.
So this is
regular trainer.
This is the first thing I want to do, because first of all, for those of you guys know, I'm coming out with a mid-work course, right? And this isn't to plug my course, okay? But this is simply so you can understand something. Before I got into coaching on YouTube, and I say this in the most humblest way, I got good at coaching, and as I was in front of the camera, I made sure behind the scenes I got better at coaching. So when I say that, I say this to say, when you're breaking into the game, the first thing is you want to be good at what you do. See, it's easy for Eddie Chambers to come in right now and promote himself, right? Because he's a fucking expert at boxing, whether somebody wants to say it or not. When you have 49 professional fights and you won 90-something% of them, you're an expert, right? When you're a guy like myself who's worked 9 world championship corners already at my age and worked with guys like Eddie Chambers and proven that I know what the fuck I'm doing as a coach, I've proven that I'm capable of doing this, right? So when I got in front of the camera, it was easy for people to believe me because they seen what I've actually already accomplished. I think a lot of people try to skip that part and go right to the promotion. You can't, it's like you can't promote yourself. You can't promote getting in shape if you've never been in shape before. You can talk about it all you want, but let's just say you're out of shape right now. You see out of shape trainers who do train people, but they got pictures of when they were competitive at one point, and for whatever reason, life has thrown them off and they got out of shape. That's one thing. But for a person to have never experienced being in shape before, try to teach somebody how to be in shape, kind of difficult for people to take that guy serious. It does happen if you're a hell of a salesman. It does happen if you're a hell of a salesman. But what I'm trying to say is, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, I'm just giving you my point of view. First thing first, get good, right? So that's why we sell courses. I sell courses to educate people so they can be good. Not just because I want to make money. If I just wanted money, I'd be like one of these YouTube guys who put the Cash App on the fucking live stream and just say, give me donations for being here and hanging out with y'all and talking to y'all. Like, I don't do that. I don't even ask for these super chats. If you go to another YouTube channel, they got their Cash App, Eddie, is wrapped around the screen with their name, their Cash App, and they're simply talking about other people's success. They're talking about Carlo, they're talking about Canelo, they're talking about Andrade, and they're saying pay me for that. Where I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'd rather you go to the website and pay me for the courses that you can have for a lifetime and take that information, get good, and then start coaching. Make your money back. You make your investment back like that. But at least when people see you know what the fuck you're talking about, they'll want to pay you. They'll be like, oh shit, this guy's really good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got thousands of videos holding mitts and teaching YouTube, and I think that's the evidence. You can go on YouTube right now and watch Eddie fight a guy with one arm. That's the evidence. So anyway, that's first thing first, get good. Second link thing, don't be afraid to get in front of the camera and do what the hell we're doing. You got to talk. You gotta promote yourself. I heard one time in a course, I've spent over, this ain't no fucking lie, I've spent over $30,000 on courses over the years, 30 grand on marketing, sales, and all this shit. And one of the courses, actually, he said, the amount of money you make every day is exactly correlated to the amount of people you talk to every day. That's a gem, right? So, like, example, if I want to sell more courses, I got to get in front of more people and tell more people to buy my courses, right?
Simple,
So therefore,
right?
when I send my email out to my 50,000 person email list, when I get on YouTube on my 275,000 subscriber YouTube, not that everybody sees all my videos, but when I get 3,000 views on the videos, when I got 30 people in the stream, that's 30 people that I can talk to and say, hey, buy my courses. They're worth it.
Right.
2 people might buy. But if I didn't get on here, that's 2 less people. And you have to do it multiple times a day. So why am I talking about money? For those people who get uncomfortable when people talk about money, I am talking about money because I'm correlating it with you as a coach who wants to promote yourself. You have to get in front of more people. First, you're good. That's step 1. You know what the fuck you're doing. Then you have to market yourself and talk to people. Yo, I'm a boxing coach. You can't tell one person and sit there and expect a flock to come. You have to constantly talk, constantly remind, talk to the same person 50 times before that person says, you know what, I'll take you up on your offer. I've had people buy my courses, they've been following me for 3 years before they spent $1, Eddie. But guess what? They're like, yo, I've been watching it for 3 years. I've been thinking about it. And you know what? I decided I'm going to take the leap. I'm like, bro, you should take the leap 3 years ago. But you know what? I understand. Not everybody acts immediately. Not everybody acts. So I got to constantly market. Why do you think big brands constantly are paying for commercial ads, constantly paying for Facebook ads? Because they understand one time ain't enough. You got to do it all the freaking time. You can't act.
I'm learning that now.
You're learning that now, right? So I just gave a business course to you for $9.99 that you didn't even have to pay me, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Hey, listen. That right there, all that information right there, but $9.99 is priceless.
If you follow what I'm saying, you'll make way more than $9.99. I can guarantee you that.
Way more.
And it really comes down to that. But the whole key thing is, my whole thing, Eddie's whole thing is integrity, right? Do shit the right way. Don't do shit for money. Do shit because you really believe in it. Do it for the cause, not because. Get good at what you do. Don't teach shit that you don't fully understand. People ask me all the time about weight training for boxing. Have you ever seen me sell a course on that? Why? That's not something that I'm feel comfortable selling y'all, because I don't personally do that with my fighters. Why the fuck would I sell y'all something like that? I sell you guys what I'm an expert in, which is teaching the skills and the fundamentals of boxing. When we're talking about strength and conditioning and weight training and all that type of shit for fighters, I've worked with strength and conditioning coaches. I personally lift weights on my own. I don't necessarily know if it's a necessity. I've seen fighters do it. I've seen other fighters stick to calisthenics and just body weight and shit like that. I'm not going to sell y'all that. That's not my expertise, and I'm okay with that. You don't got to sell everything. Sell what you know. Sell what you know. Sell what you believe in. Keep your integrity. Don't fuck people over. Be honest, and you'll go far as a coach. You see what I'm saying?
1,000,000%. I echo sentiment of every bit of that. You know what I mean? They say you won't work a day in your life if you do something you love and you put effort into it. It will never seem like work. You'll enjoy it. You'll make money, and you'll live life. You know what I mean? I agree with that 100%. That's the kind of way. That's the way you should do it, and do it not to screw anybody over. Make sure that whatever you're selling, you really know about it, not just to sell somebody some shit that you have no clue about. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the most important parts of it.
Your reputation is worth far more than a couple of dollars, or whatever. All right, we got another question from him. Yeah, I got the boxing license to work in the fancy gym. I don't know what boxing license you need to work in fancy gyms, but okay. I boxed. I am 2 wins, 4 losses. Great info, both of y'all. Thanks. Listen, brother, you're learning. You're learning on the job. You actually got in the ring. You mixed it up. You're part of the community. I see you sparring all the time. And listen, you can't be afraid to ask questions. You can't be afraid to join mentorship programs. You can't be afraid to invest money. You obviously already invested in some of the stuff. You have to be willing to do this stuff if you want to get ahead faster. You can do it the old-fashioned way and save money and do it on your own. You're going to make more mistakes. You're going to take twice as long. as I've gotten older, I have realized that time is our most valuable commodity. Therefore,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to waste time. I have hired more people in my recent time that I used to never want to hire people to do certain shit. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
hire him because why the hell do I want to sit there and try to figure some shit out that I don't even need to figure out? I'd rather just pay somebody who knows how to do it. It gets done in twice the time, twice as fast. I don't got to figure this shit out, less stress, and he's gonna do a better job than me trying to figure this shit out on my own. It's a no fucking brainer. Spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Eddie have already put in the work. I've already put in the work as a trainer. 25 years I've been in this shit, y'all. I'm not no fucking young guy. I know I look like I'm 21. You know what I'm saying? I wear the hat to the back. I keep a clean shape up. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Eddie is, I know he looks like he's freaking 21 also. He's had freaking 49 pro fights, doesn't speak with a slur, doesn't have a broken nose, looks like a regular guy, nicest guy in the world. Don't you want to learn from people who got 50 years combined experience and both can have accolades to show you? You know what I'm saying? We got the receipts to show you that we know what we're doing. Why go through the hard work by yourself? Why try to figure it out in yourself? I got a fucking 16 courses on my website for those of you, not him, because he already invested, but for those of you out there who are still, I don't know, I should spend the $297. Like, bro,
$297, bro.
Like, I don't know.
For all of that work,
then they'll go the next day, spend it on something else, and then they'll see me raise the price, and then hit me up the next day on the DM like, "Yo, coach, I missed your sale." Yo, come on, y'all.
Right.
Like, we gotta be better. We gotta do better. We gotta invest into ourselves, man. I've spent far more than what I sell my shit for to learn about marketing, learn about how to do systems and automations and all the stuff that I got going on in the back end of my website. You know what I mean? And guess what? It's well worth it because one day I'll probably be selling that. You want to learn how to do what I do? I'm going to teach you how to do it. And it's going to cost y'all, a lot of money because I've made a lot of money. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's all worth it in the end if you know what to do with what you learn. The information is great. If you learn how to apply it, even greater. You know what I'm saying?
Even crazy. That's right. Application is, man, that's the king of it. You know what I mean?
Y'all can't tell I am just as passionate about that topic as I am boxing. And anybody who knows me personally knows I love business. I love personal development. That's all I watch all day. I be on the Stairmaster, on the treadmill, lifting weights. People think I'm listening to hip hop. You know what I'm listening to? Personal development. I'm listening to business videos. I'm listening to marketing videos. I don't really listen to boxing shit because I already feel like I know what I need to know in that department. I'm in the mix. I'm around boxing all day. So I don't really watch stuff on that. People be like, hey, man, did you watch this boxing show? I'm like, I ain't watching that. But I watch shit that I don't know about that I want to get better at. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man. This requires a lot of work, man. And between us two, we done did a lot, so.
My man Jay Sharp, Fort Greene, Brooklyn in the house. Older man here. Would your training videos be okay with me without a heavy bag? I mean, you can always shadow box, man. So yes, you could definitely do it without a heavy bag. I mean, you can always do it without a heavy bag if you can find a partner, like a person to, partner up with and maybe go through the journey with you. That's great as well. If you can get access to a heavy bag, I do recommend it. Of course, if your joints are up for it and you're able to do it, I know you said you're an older man, and trust me, I understand about joint pain. I deal with stuff on my wrist and all that, so I get it. However, yes, you could definitely use this stuff without a heavy bag. But I always tell people, listen, boxing as a whole, let's just take it for what it is. Boxing as a whole is a two-person sport. So you're always going to get more out of it if you can get somebody else to be part of it with you. A heavy bag helps because you can feel impact, okay? So there's certain things about boxing that if you want to maximize it, yes, you would want a partner so you could do some drills. You would want a heavy bag. If you can get somebody to hold mitts for you, great. But if you can't, it can still work. Eddie, you got any tips on that?
100%, man. Floor drills and shadow boxing, in my opinion, are what helps you improve technically a lot faster and a lot better. You can see it. It teaches you how to properly miss. I know it sounds crazy, but you got to learn how to miss properly. You know what I mean? You'll be able to see your punches all the way through. You won't make as many mistakes with technique when you do the proper amount of shadow boxing, especially before you start hitting the bag too much. Because sometimes the bag, you get used to that impact and how it feels, and you throw shots on a bag a certain way, it doesn't really correlate or doesn't really work on a person. So it's important to be able to shadow box. Shadow box is probably one of the most underrated shadow boxing and floor drills and footwork drills, in the ring, or obviously if you don't have a ring, you can still do it on the ground, on the floor, wherever you are very, very underrated of importance. I think those can be done, and of course, if you had a partner, so you can do drills with them, catching and throwing shots at each other. You know what I mean? I'm not saying a bag is not necessary. A bag is absolutely necessary. You definitely can. Pads are necessary. All of these things are good when you have them. But if you don't, you damn well better start doing a lot of the shadow boxing, a lot of footwork, a lot of things like that, because that right there is really, especially with the basics. Once you understand the basics, I'm telling you, that will really enhance your skill set a lot faster than just punching on the bag. Trust me.
It's crazy. It's crazy because the only thing that I like about the heavy bag better than shadow boxing is the impact and the strength development that you can get from it. But think about it though, shadow boxing is really like overall more realistic because you're gonna be using the space, your brain, the thinking, all of that area to work your punches and really visualize. So shadow boxing, that's why I made a whole course on it. I literally made a whole course on shadow boxing. Matter of fact, I should share. I'm gonna share this, Eddie, and I want to get your thoughts on this because you weren't part of this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna share this though. I think I shared this the other day, but I'm gonna share this one mod. This is just one module of many. I always like to give people a peek under the hood so they can see what I'm talking about, so they can visualize what I'm talking about. So, all right. So we're here. You in the courses with me, Eddie?
Oh yeah, I'm there.
All right. So this one I did with myself. You probably didn't even see this one.
I think I seen like parts of it.
How to work the jab in the ring. Okay. Now watch this, Eddie. Just watch this video.
All right, guys. Now I'm gonna show you how to. But a good way to learn how to work your jab is to only throw a jab in shadow boxing. I do this all the time with my fighters where I'll make them work rounds on rounds, just the jab. Okay. You might have seen a fight recently that I was on the zone with professional fighter Ford, who was 12-0. That camp, they brought me in to help him get to the next level, and it worked out very well. And one of the main things that I worked on with that kid in sparring, mitt work, heavy bag work, was the jab. And if you look at the fight, it showed. He barely got touched. You even heard me get a little upset in the corner when he started to get away from what we were working on. We worked very hard on the jab, and it showed in the fight. And that is something that I take very seriously when I work with professionals, world champions, world-rated guys, Olympians. Man, I've been working with the top guys, and I'm going to tell you right now that this punch, okay, this kind of drilling is exactly what I make the best fighters in the world do. So don't overlook this just because it's a simple punch like the jab is very important, okay? So bear with me. I'm not a young fighter like I used to be, okay? But I get out there now. Before I get going, I'm working everything, right? The footwork drills, you better have it, okay? Angles and how to create it, you better have it. Defensive principles 101, you better have it, okay? How to set traps and counterpunch, you better have it. Because all these courses work together. So let me get into it, all right? So I'm here. I got my rhythm going, right? Never standing in front of a guy for too long, right? Adding some feints, right? So once I want to start working my jab, right? Start letting it pop a little bit. Pop. Now, look, I pop. I'm working on my form and technique just like if it was build you from the ground up 1.0. Pop, okay? So now I'm there. Of course, I'm not just going to throw one. I'm going to double that thing. Pop, pop, right? Main circle one way. Little head movement, circle the other way. Sharp pivot. Pop, pop, head, body. Get away. Right now from here, I already gave him a few different looks. I went left, I went right. I feinted. I kind of gave him a little swaggy walk, right? Because I like to have style when I shadow box. Okay, very important. You have some style. You gotta look good when you're doing this, right? Now, I may press forward. Pop, pop, whoop. I'm out of there. Okay? back, small steps now, little head movement, right? I'm here now, completely other side. All right, now you see me pressing up, another jab. Bop, 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 bop. See how I stopped and popped? When I went to my right, I stopped, bang, and I dropped the one on.
My whole point on here, Eddie, is just the mindset behind the shadow boxing. So many things. Like when I did that video, Eddie, I was going really off what was happening in my brain at that particular moment.
Yep.
Right? It's not like I took it out of a book. Right? I was going through experience, right? Like if I was to have you do the same course and you was to shadow box, you can literally talk people through what's going through your brain at that moment. There's not going to be like a, let me read the
teleprompter.
Right? It's the experience playbook of what's actually going through your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody shadow boxes a little differently. Every fighter fights a little differently because everybody has their own experiences that they bring to the table. And anything you want to talk about on that?
Yeah, man. I talk to my guys, a lot of my guys, about it all the time, man. It's about shadow boxing. You got to have a good imagination. You know what I mean? It's not always just about going out there and throwing punches and just for exercise, or even just worrying about form and technique. No doubt about it. You want to kind of focus on that and make that an important part. But you also got to have an imagination, understand who's in front of you. Dream it up in your mind, daydream, so to speak. You know what I mean? Think of different things, different things that may happen. You know what I mean? In a fight, what situations if you say you weren't able to throw your right hand, work on your jab a little bit more that way for that reason. Try to figure out ways of using the right hand as a feint just to get your left hand off. All left hands, all right hands. If something, you know what I mean? Whatever you may face in a fight type situation.
I wish I could pull up your fight with Thomas Adamek right now, but I'm too scared to get it.
Yeah, you don't get it. Yeah,
but that's the perfect situation of needing to use one hand. And how do you use it? So that's your homework for tonight, guys. Go watch Eddie versus Thomas Adamek and watch how he adjusted with one arm. One arm. I mean, he tore his bicep, your left bicep, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that. Okay, hold on. This is good. This is real good. This is real good. Imagine me as your coach. I'm a big jab guy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So imagine I'm like, yo, we're going to develop a nice jab. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then your fucking jab hand gets fucked up in the fight. And you haven't
first round too.
In the first round. And then you don't have nothing to fall back on because only thing you think about is that. Do you see the detriment there? This is why I'm okay with doing things like Eddie said, right hands only, jab only, hooks only, things like that. Even if we're fighting a southpaw, every so often bring in an orthodox guy. My fighters hate when I do that. They're like, no, man, we're fighting a southpaw. No. What happens if that fight falls through? What happens if that guy you're supposed to fight can't fight and they got to fill you in with an orthodox guy? Then what? You see what I'm trying to say? What happens if that guy can switch? So we need to be able to be ready for the unexpected. So shadow boxing is the easiest, safest place to do that, especially if you have access to a ring or a good amount of space. And then you bring that to the heavy bag.
Yes, sir. Hey, I remember watching the video that somebody took of me when I was shadow boxing in the mirror. And it was just in the mirror. And I was doing different, pivots, working on my southpaw, one-handed stuff, but also, both hands, just, southpaw position, throwing hooks, slipping. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, those things like that, especially like if you're getting ready for a fight, are so vital. So work on things that may happen. It literally can be situational. You can get into a fight and all of a sudden something happens. Your hand's messed up. Anything. You know what I mean? And you got to figure out a way to still go through it, right? And if you practice it, even if you visualized it, because like I never had a situation where I lost the use of my right hand, my left hand in a fight, and I always said, "Damn, that would be the hardest way to go, is if I wasn't able to use my left, because we use that twice as much as the right." You know what I mean? Or if you're an orthodox guy, so it was like, damn, now I can't. Now my punch count is going to be in the basement, so I got to figure out a way to keep my punch count up. So what I did was, I was saying I'm quick enough, you know what I mean, at least I felt I was, which I was, to be able to throw right hands from an orthodox situation, a counter right hand, and then switch midstream and then turn it into a jab so I can get more punches off. And even maybe turn that into a hook. And I visualized it. I talked to Steve about it many times. He was like, yeah, man, if that happened, then I started working on southpaw. Since I was a kid, I would work on southpaw in the gym. You know, I'm so comfortable now southpaw in the gym that I'd rather hit the bag southpaw than orthodox. And it's like, I'm so used to doing it. So now when I got to access it or I need it, and I don't have the ability to use my left like I need to or like I want to, I can actually go to that. This is why shadow boxing and visualizing in your mind what's happening and using that imagination is so vital. Wow. I mean, it's second to none. That's why shadow boxing footwork is important.
It's semi meditation.
Facts.
It's a semi meditation. You know, people ask me, "Oh, do you meditate? Did you ever meditate?" And I'm like, I never really meditated. The only time I've ever gotten close to meditation is intense training or running. I've gotten
running. I was gonna say that.
I've gotten to states of meditation running. Like when you hit that second and third mile, all of a sudden your brain just goes somewhere else. Same thing with us when you're boxing. I mean, you know, you go into like a place that you can't, you know, like it's like an outer body experience when you get to that level of fatigue that you're just like, now I'm just doing this shit. It's like a meditation type of a feeling, I would say.
You know what it's called? That's called the flow state. And that's when, I mean, maybe like I've probably had it in fights and I just didn't know it, but I've definitely had it like when I was playing ball before, to where, and it's like, cause I'm not a professional basketball player, but when I'm out there playing and you catch that flow state, you can do anything you want. Your imagination can just flow. You can do whatever you want. And honestly, it felt like nobody could stop it. Like nobody could stop it. I was out there playing with good players and literally none of them could do anything. I had supreme confidence that I'm telling you, I don't know I don't know how I wish I could bottle that shit and sell it. We'd be billionaires right now if I could, but I'm telling you, the flow state is a real thing. And then when that happens, and like you were saying, when you running and it's just like, you could probably run 30, 40 miles and wouldn't even realize you did it. Because you're just in that mode. You're not thinking about any other thing.
About 30 or 40, but I get your point.
Bro, hey, listen, no. Hey, I'm telling you, look at what's David Goggins. I'm telling you, you could do that shit. You wouldn't even realize it. Bro, I'm telling you, it's crazy. You'd be surprised. You hit that state, that flow state. It's just, I mean, I don't know about 30 or 40, but you'll be out there. Let's say I've done 10 miles, 14 miles before. You know what I mean? After doing all these other crazy exercises. And trust me, if you get to that point, it'll just be like nothing. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I couldn't on the court, I couldn't miss. Nobody could stop me from doing anything. I was doing shit that I've never tried. It was unbelievable. And I'm telling you, you can get it, but that requires, you know, a development and understanding of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I know I've done it. I've had it in boxing, but I just, you know, I'm so used to being consistent, you know, with my skill set in boxing that I couldn't tell if I was like, I felt great and I was having a lot of success, but I don't know if it was the flow state or if it's just how good I was at the time. You know, it could have been a little bit of both. I don't know. But with basketball, I could tell.
100%. I don't know what Jay Sharp means here. Was Lip being in the Fury camp a good experience? Who's Lip?
Was life? Wait, what? Maybe was it life being, or was it?
I guess
Was
was
it?
being
Was
in the
it?
Fury camp.
Was it? Was huh? Was
I
being
guess
in the
he's
Fury
asking,
camp?
I guess he's asking if it was a good experience for you. That's what I'm gonna
Well,
assume.
without a question, there's a lot I learned. First off, I thought I worked hard before I went there, bro. I had no idea that you can that there was another level to it because I used to train like crazy. You know what I mean? People, I would go to championship level camps back in the day. People be like, "Yo, man, he worked hard. Like, what is he doing? Why he gonna be tired for the fight?" Then I went there and I was like, "Man, all these big heavyweights, all these dudes are big. They're gonna be slow. They ain't gonna work hard." Man, I got into that the first day. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, first off, they had me go up these steps, these like city steps. It was like a mile up. It seemed like. And we had to keep running that shit until we did 10. And I'm like, what? I thought we was just sprinting it and walking back. Nah, like, we got to keep running. And then we would go and we'd do like calisthenics on the sand, bear crawls, 100 yards on the sand, like dumb, crazy shit. I'm like, and then that was only the second workout. We had another one. Had to go to the boxing gym. We ain't even gone to the boxing gym yet. Then we go in the boxing gym and we work it. I was like, bro, I ain't never worked that hard in my life. I'm gonna be honest. And I learned something. You know what I mean? I learned quite a bit out there, and I use it today. But yeah, those guys. First of all, they were like family to me. They treated me like a brother and a son. You know.
Why do you think Eddie is so biased for Tyson Fury, man?
Honestly, there is bias with it, but I believe in it. I knew, hey, look, what's happening right now, I saw it. I saw it before it happened because I was in the camp with him. And look, I'm going to tell you like this. I think highly of my skill level. And I know that there's not many people on the planet can get in a boxing ring with me and, you know what I mean? And be successful, especially when I'm really in shape and I'm ready to go. It's really, really difficult. And I only had, trust me, there's only been a few fighters that I remember, and you know, since I've become, you know, at the elite level, they really has given me trouble in sparring or in general. There's not been many, and I can say he was probably, without a doubt, the most difficult sparring I've ever had. And and we're talking about I'm at my best, and he was extremely difficult. It was almost like nothing that I could do at one point. And I used to be able to figure it out. But shit, it took me a while to be able to figure it out with him. But once I did, it wasn't like I was just controlling the work. Nah, that shit was still extremely hard. I just knew a zone I could get to where it was almost like a stalemate. You know what I mean? Where I would have my days and he would have his, or we would just be even going back and forth. But if he turned it all the way up to 1,000 and he wanted to just go, you know, old English style him with his 270 pounds, shit was hard, bro. It was like, I mean, but like I said, man, there's a lot I learned from those guys, man. Peter Fury, excellent all the way around. Understands the business, understands, you know, how to train guys. A hell of a motivator as well as a trainer. All around good dude. So, you know, Tyson as well. Huey, all of them. All my guys. You know what I mean?
Big shout out to Team Fury.
Hey, and I can't forget my guy Dave over there, Dave Allen. All of them dudes, man. You know, my man Joey that I do podcasts with all the time. I got all of my guys over there, man. I got a whole English family over that.
I realize, man, Eddie's a star here in the States, but in the UK,
I ain't nothing over here compared to there.
He getting pulled over every 5 minutes for pictures and autographs and paparazzis and all that in the UK. Man, I don't know if I would have came back if I was you, man. It seems like you were getting more praise over there.
Listen, I think I'm just, you know, this is home. It's really hard to leave home and stay permanently or even move. You know what I mean? It's hard to, but bruh, the welcome that I got when I was over there and the love that you get from them. I mean, I had I was doing commentary I was doing all kind of shit over there that you would have thought here in the States I would have had gigs like that years ago. Especially when I was hot, but I was doing that shit when I was over there in 2014 and 2013, and it's like the love was crazy over there. That's why I fuck with the UK heavy. Always, I still got, like I said, friends, family over there. They good dudes. Trust me.
Yeah, man. The UK was cool, man. I had a good time. I went to the UK. How many times I've been to the UK? I only been to the UK once when Eric Hunter fought Lee Selby. We fought.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
We fought at the O2 Arena. Spent about 2 weeks in the UK. To get acclimated, and then of course fight week, and then the fight. Anthony Joshua fought on the main event. I can't remember who he fought.
It wasn't Vladimir, was it? Was it Vladimir or no?
I don't think it was Vladimir, but it was when he was really popping at that time. I can't remember who he fought, but it was 2015 or 16. But yeah, it was a super dope experience. I went to the Peacock Gym Pause. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And all them dudes already knew who I was over there. And they was real big into the mitt work over there. They really liked the mitt work. They were, obviously super inspired by the Floyd Mayweather style of mitt work. And
they like that.
Yeah, they knew that I could do it. So I was getting hired by people in that gym, man. As soon as they seen that I was there, they were like, Coach Anthony, man, can you come hold mitts? I was like, yeah. And I was holding mitts for people in the UK. You know what I mean? All the trainers they were watching at the time, because at that time the mitt work was very new. Especially outside. Even people in the United States, it was like, what the hell kind of mitt work is this? So it was definitely cool, a lot of fun, man. I like the UK. I thought it looked a little gritty when I went there, though. I remember saying to myself, like, yo, this is a little more grittier than I expected. Like, it kind of looks like New York City, a little bit gritty.
You was in London, right?
Yeah,
he was in London. Yeah, that's it. London's like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. You go to Essex, different parts is like, yo, they nice, it's pretty over there. But you go to parts of London, you say gritty. Yeah, it's just I
was actually quite like, oh shit, like it ain't feel like, it didn't feel like sweet being there. Like it felt like
right.
Stay on point out here. You know what I mean? Kind of like if I was here. And and I was, of course, I stood on point, but we went to a few night spots, and it was a good time, man. Good memory, man. People kept asking me to go back. I never made my way back over there. I know I got a lot of love in the UK. Big shout out to everybody in the UK that fucks with me, man. Yeah, I'd love to go back, man. Maybe me and you go back over there, Eddie, do some seminars or something.
Let's do it. Hey, listen, I done been told, I done talked to Joey so many times and told him I was going to come over there.
Let's see. For the people who are watching this live and the people who are not watching this live, we're going to do a poll, and I'm probably going to do this more often. How many of you guys would be willing to do it? Me and Eddie Chambers did a seminar. Let's just say like 10 people to 20 people max. Like, it wouldn't be more than 20 people. We kind of keep it intimate, but at the same time, 20 people for boxing is controllable for me and Eddie to control as far as partner drills, training sessions, etc. How many people will be interested in an in-person, maybe 1 or 2 day seminar with me and Eddie Chambers? You can either comment right now, and if you're not watching this live, you can just leave that in the comment section below. 2024, me and Eddie definitely want to start doing some different things, giving you guys an opportunity to meet us in person. And actually train with us for maybe a weekend or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If that's something you guys would be interested in, it's not going to be free, y'all, but it will be worth every dollar, every penny. And trust me, we will be happy to do it, honestly, for our supporters.
Absolutely.
So if you guys are definitely interested in, man, just let us know. You already got excellent ideas, seminar. We'll definitely do it. I'm thinking something like, couple of hours, like 3 to 4 hours each day. So it's not like you just come in, do a workout and leave. Like if you just did a personal training class or something, it's like in depth. You're really going to learn something you could take back with you, something that you could be like, man, that was definitely educational. It would be well thought out, well planned, etc. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I said that would be dope. You know what I mean? Intimate in person, pause. We got.
Yo, these motherfuckers is really on that shit too.
I was waiting for it. Sound like a fire idea. Would love to know how scheduling. But obviously, that's something for a deeper discussion. Pause. Yeah, for sure. Definitely a deeper discussion and location. We're trying to back off the pause just slightly. We still
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're still gonna use it, but for sure, man.
They in on that shit now, boy.
Yeah, I know, man. We kind of like, and yeah, of course, the location would most likely be here where we are, which is the East Coast, which is Philadelphia, New Jersey-ish area. Okay, so it would be somewhere in this area. So if you're in New York City, you're looking at like a 2-hour trip. If you're coming from the West Coast, you're gonna have to get on a plane. If you're coming from overseas, you're gonna have to get on a plane. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, you make it an experience. You make it an experience. You know what I'm saying? You come rock out with us, and then who knows, man? Maybe we'll make it a whole experience. Maybe we'll go out after
on the road,
eat some dinner and kick it or whatever. It could just be like a whole weekend type thing. So something that we're just bouncing some ideas. You guys are hearing it first. We're just trying to see what we can actually do so it could be the best experience. We could take it to a whole nother level. So, you know, obviously you're going to want to plan where you're going to stay, booking and all that type of stuff. We'll talk about that at a later date. These are just ideas. Okay. These are how ideas start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jimmy, Coach, you ever thought to do a voiceover, some drills for people to listen to while they're hitting the bag, kind of like having you as a coach? I thought about that a lot, man. That's something that I think like you're thinking like more like a voice course where I'm just talking and you guys are just doing stuff like, yo, work the jab, slip, come back with a hook right hand. I've been thinking about something like that. If that's something that you guys are interested in, we can make that happen for sure.
Yeah, I like that idea. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that definitely would be dope, man.
You can definitely do something like that, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely, man. We'll definitely do something like that. All the game can be shared for free, man. Listen,
that's a fact.
You know, we try to do it as much as we can. You know, we understand that. Listen, one thing about I learned a different approach to marketing, right? Like I really can't stand when I run into a person who tries to sell me something but doesn't let me see any of it, like just completely just like closes the doors on me and is like, pay for my shit. I don't like that approach. I prefer to show you the value, you know, let you see that you're dealing with authenticity, and then you purchase the product. That's my style of marketing. Maybe I'm stabbing myself in the foot. Maybe I'm making a whole lot less, but I sleep better at night. I sleep better at night knowing that we went above and beyond to show people that, you know, we're doing, you know, the best work that we possibly can. You know, we're accessible. We're not going to hide from you. If there's an issue, you can email me, you can text me, you can DM me. You know what I'm trying to say? That's my approach on it. You know what I mean? Just so people can feel comfortable dealing with me. So I sleep better at night doing it that way. You know what I mean?
So,
my man, Lon, y'all do an excellent job with this, man. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you.
My man, Alex, how many miles should an amateur be running in a week, and how fast should you run since it's more of a high pace for an amateur? Eddie, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, that's a good. I didn't even think about that, but I mean, back in the day, I remember my dad, because my dad fought Ray Leonard when he was an amateur, and you know he fought Ray Leonard. Yeah, he fought Ray Leonard. Yeah, in the amateur.
That's a hell of a feather in the cap, man.
Yeah, for him, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if you shared the ring with him when you were 8 years old. You fought Ray Leonard.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And well, and you know, my dad, he always, asked information. He was an older guy at the time. He was older than those guys. He's probably like 26, 27. And asked him, he's like, yo, how much y'all run? And Ray Leonard and them was like, like, what you talking about? We run every day. I don't know what you. So that's how I grew up. I grew up with that. Like I was supposed to run every day. Now I think now with modern technology, different plans and how people work out. There's more science down to it. You don't have to run every day. In fact, I know you won't. Don't kill me for this, Ant, but you really don't have to run. It's not a mandatory thing to you for you to run. You can do other things other than run that
So
stimulate.
let's give some examples. What would you use as an alternative to running?
Maybe an alternate. I mean, maybe another gym time. Like, say for example, instead of going out to run, and this is if you can get to a gym. Maybe if you don't have a gym, maybe you have someplace in your house that you can do it. I think, and I've done this, floor drills.
He said, "Nah, tweaking. I'm gonna run."
I feel you. Hey, listen, I understand. But check it. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, I'm talking about major fights, bro. Major fights. And I didn't get tired. I thought I was tripping, but I didn't get tired. What you can do though is go into the gym and do 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes of floor drills without stopping. Now tell me what's harder, that or running a regular pace for 3 miles. Like, come on, bro. I'm trying to tell you right now. I'll challenge you. I'll challenge whoever. Go to the gym and do hard floor drills, feints, moving, getting around the ring, shadow boxing. Do that shit for 30 to 45 minutes and tell me that you ain't gonna be drenched in sweat, working way harder than you would if you was out there just running a solid pace on the track or something. And it's less boring, and you can actually be working on your craft.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to me.
Most motherfuckers don't want to do that because it's harder.
Exactly. But I would have done that shit gladly because I didn't like running.
Yeah.
I would have done that shit gladly. Plus,
I like running until my fucking joints can no longer take it. But
and that's another thing.
I fucking love, when I say love running, Eddie. Like, I remember, like, I used to go out to the club. Yeah. Right, like especially when I lived in Florida, like right before.
In Florida's different though, because you run it. It's nice weather, man. We used to have to get up in that cold ass weather.
Let's say we were gonna go to a club, like at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
bro. At 9 o'clock, bro, I'm like, yo, I'll hit y'all back. I'm about to go hit this 3 miles real quick. I'd go run, come back, do my. Bro, I could not go out without doing my run. Like, I'll have my fiance come in here right now and fucking co-sign this shit.
That's crazy. That's actually cool.
I could not fucking not run. You know what I'm saying? I had to. It was like an addiction. But then I probably paid the price. I probably ran too much. I didn't miss a day. When I used to drink liquor party the night before, for some reason, when I would drink, I would wake up the next morning like earlier. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's like I couldn't get a good night's sleep. I got to find out the science to this. But I would drink till like 2, 3 in the morning. I'd be up at 7 o'clock like this. And I'd be like, yo, how the hell am I awake? I was drinking last night. And then I'd be sitting there waiting. And then I'd be like, I'm just going to go hit a run. Probably the worst thing I could do, right? Because my kidneys and liver just took a beating. And then I would go out and run. But, at that time, I was always correlating running as something good, for you, not thinking that
it is
doing damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but truthfully, it is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, bro. I'm telling you right now, floor drills, bro. I know you like to run. So if you like to run, you like to run, and that's a good thing. But bro, me and my brother, and I hated it more than them. Because I was always running with these little athletic little motherfuckers. They was like 130 pounds, 125 pounds. I had to keep up with them. So it was the worst shit ever. I had to run way faster than I wanted to. If I just went out and was able to just jog, slow, like I had to be out there trying to run fucking 6-minute miles, keeping up with them motherfuckers for 5 miles. I'm like, bro, man, this shit is, and I got to keep up with them. Like, fuck that. I was like, man, just bring me in the gym. I'll do another workout. I'd rather do that shit. It's more fun anyway.
But listen, I had a trainer who I highly respect, who taught me a lot about boxing, and his recommendation, Eddie, has always been. Now, I never listened to him for myself. I never listened to him because I was one of those people who ran every day.
Right.
But his recommendation, and he said it has worked for him in his professional career, every fighter he's ever trained, 3 times a week. I'm giving y'all a free game right now. 3 times a week, he would run, or he would have his athletes run 21 minutes. That was it. He said, if you can run 3 miles in 21 minutes 3 times a week, you can fight a 12-round fight. If you do that in correlation with your boxing training, of course. He didn't believe in running more than 3 times a week, and he forced that pace on you. He said you need to make sure you're at least hitting a 7-minute mile. If you're not hitting a 7-minute mile, you're not running hard enough. So that was his theory on it. So take that for what it's worth, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Take it for
I like
what
that.
it's worth. But
And
that was-
honestly, I did that, Ant, when I was getting ready for St. Peter, and I know most people look at that fight and be like, you was running 7-minute mile, and I did that shit on a treadmill. And when I was in Cali, but I was doing it like a little under a 7-minute mile. I was on the treadmill every day doing that shit, like at least 3, like maybe 4 or 5 days a week, and that's what I was doing on top of the training and all the sparring and all that. So yeah, I can co-sign it. And listen, I'm not saying running doesn't do it. And even with me, even when I was, and I learned this from Emmanuel and with Vladimir, and even with the Fury family, they didn't fucking get out and run miles. We hardly ever ran. I think we ran when I was over there like 2 or 3 times. Most of the things we did, and this is why I know that's crazy, because when we trained there, everything we did was intense and hard. That jog was the easiest fucking thing we did. I swear to you, that jog, mad easy. The only time that we ran, and that shit was real hard, was when we ran with that guy that was a paramedic and a former Marine or something. He had us do some wild shit. Like we jumped in shitty water, got out the water, and ran like 15, 16 miles and did calisthenics on the way. And then we wrestling, running up sand dunes that was literally like this in front of me, like my feet was on the ground and my face was almost touching the ground, like going straight up a hill. Bruh, the shit was crazy. And that's the only time. But other than that, we hardly ever ran when I was over there. Remember, I'm over there with a bunch of heavyweights that's above 6'4", 6'4", 6'5". Everybody over there. If they run too much, they gonna fuck their legs up. So they had to figure out another way. And trust me, we was in shape, like shape. You know what I mean? Like too good a shape. Like it was too much for me. Like after a while, my body started to break down. So trust me. And the workouts, the longest workout I think we ever had when I was over there was 1 hour and like 20 minutes. Everything else was like small amounts of time, but in super intense work.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll do a course like on the training camp they used to do out there. Maybe that's something we'll put together. You know what I mean? Something
I'm gonna have to get in shape.
Yeah, that's fine, but we'll figure that out, man. Shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, there's definitely other things you could do because you got to think about it, y'all. Running is to get your heart rate up. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you want to strengthen your legs, but there's other ways to strengthen your legs. And boxing, like Eddie said, floor work, shadow boxing, ring work, your basic calisthenics like squats and lunges and things of that nature. And of course, you're gonna constantly be sparring, and when you're sparring, you're using your legs. Like I was telling somebody this yesterday. I remember sparring one time, right? And when I got out to sparring, my fucking biceps were pumped like I was doing curls. I've done
that just happened to me today.
I've done curls, right? And felt no pump. Literally grabbed 60-pound fucking bar. I'm hitting it. I'm grabbing the dumbbells. I'm doing the shit. I'm twisting it. I'm fucking twisting the extra twist at the end, trying to get this, right? I sparred like, I don't know, 4 to 6 rounds. I can't remember. And when I got out, I was like, yo, my shit feel like I just did curls, bro. Yeah, I know you know, Eddie.
I just did that today. Just did that to shit. No, I didn't spar. I was hitting the bag.
Oh, you said
we was doing a little. I had the training session, so I worked out with him a little bit today. All heavy shots on the heavy bag. Like after we did straights, like just staying busy, fast hands with the straights. Say, all right, bombs, heavy shots, big shots to the body. Man, I start teeing off, boom, boom, and you don't realize how much that tightens up that bicep. So I felt that motherfucker locking up like it was about to be a Charlie horse. I was like, hold up.
Bro,
But
yo, you gotta be careful, man. Remember when I sparred Mike that one day and I hit him with that one shot and I thought I tore my bicep?
Yep. And look, I already had one.
And I looked at you immediately because I know you know about touring, but I'm like, yo, I think I just tore my shit. And then, but I think it was just like a strain. That happened to me also one time on the heavy bag. I was popping the jab, right? And I was extra focused on the rotation of the jab. And as soon as I was like, pop, I was like, ooh. So you got to be careful sometimes with this boxing shit because you can hurt yourself. And sometimes it's a freak accident. You know what I mean?
Yep. And same thing happened when I tore my shit with Tomas. I was throwing so many punches, man. So many fucking punches in camp with my left hand. Just in general, but mainly with my left hand. And I was still deadlifting for something and squatting weight and I was doing all my strength and shit. Man, I got to the fight. So fucking awesome. I've never felt that good. Then all of a sudden, I'm in the first round and I get ready to try to throw a little check or something, hook. That shit pop. I was like, what the pull my hand back. I didn't even know what the hell happened. I thought I had something on my like you ever have like a loose string wrap around your like arm or something like that, and they give you that little sharp pull, like it's cutting you almost. That's what the pain felt like, and I thought it was something on my shorts, so that's why I was looking. And I was like, damn, I got something on my shorts. They got around my arm somehow or whatever. And I looked, I ain't see nothing. I was like, all right, cool. Then I went back out, and then I said, okay, fuck it. It must have been just a little freak because I had my arms like like a little accident. So then I tried to throw the jab again. I was like, oh shit, what the? It wasn't like unbelievable pain, but it was enough. It was sharp and shocking enough that I didn't want to extend my arm out. So I was like, damn, what the hell happened? And I looked, and I said, that shit look like I'm flexing it. My arm's straight. Something wrong. You know what I'm saying? But bruh, it was like I couldn't and then I tried to throw it again in the second round. Like, nah, it's a no go. All right hands for me for the rest of this shit. But that's how. And it's a fucking scary, weird feeling. You don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And that shit happened in the middle of a fight.
I never want to deal with that because I'm telling you, man, I've had a few scares. I had a few scares with my left bicep. And let me tell you, man, I was panicking because I didn't want that surgery. I'm like, I hope I didn't tear.
No.
And luckily for me, it was just a strain, but the strain was enough to make me feel like it was a tear. So guys, all I'm saying to you guys out there, be careful. Always try to warm up properly. But sometimes you could do everything right, man. You could warm up, you could shadow box, you could do the whole nine, and still something could happen. So it's like anything in life, man. Nothing's guaranteed. You know what I mean? But just try your best to, use the precautions and stuff. I don't know if there's any way you can actually like warm up the bicep before you box. Did they ever try to like educate you or anything like? Have you ever been educated after the injury on bicep tear prevention?
Well, from what I'm understanding is like those types of things happen from mainly overuse, and a lot of times people really don't think about strengthening the tendons and balancing. So it's like for me, what I do whenever I go into the gym, and not necessarily for my upper body, which I probably should do that too. I try to do a lot of things balance wise, because anytime, like if you went to like a rehab center, they'll tell you a lot of times imbalances cause it. Overuse in one, like you moving in one way for, like that's why I was like, yo, every time because I'm so worried about knees and stuff like that because I play a lot of ball. So I'm always in the gym working on my balance, standing on the Bosu ball, trying to balance, rolling my ankles out. I walk backwards on the treadmill for a good amount of time on an incline to help keep my knees as healthy as possible, strengthen the muscles around it. But it's really important to think about your tendons just as much as you think about the prime mover muscles. A lot of people don't think about keeping those tendons strong, because that's what's attaching, that connective tissue. If that's weak and your muscles continue to get stronger, what's going to happen? you're gonna pop something. And that's what happened, and it happens, and I see it all the time. These non-contact injuries, it's because these dudes work so hard on the muscle because they don't know that they need to be protecting the other parts of the muscle, the part that connects. You got to make that shit strong too. Those ligaments and tendons got to be strong too. You keep on, putting. That's why these dudes who juice, when they juice, that's why they should be popping crazy. Because they doing all them big weights and all that, these bodybuilders, and they be popping their muscles because these motherfuckers don't think about the connective tissue. They're not doing it for that reason. They're only doing it just for the look. So you gotta be real careful. And a lot of people don't focus enough on that. It's balanced, man. Your body gotta be balanced.
And I'm gonna be really, really honest with you guys. When people ask me about bringing in a strength and conditioning coach for boxing, for me, this is my personal opinion, Coach Anthony's personal opinion. I think that's the bigger benefit of a strength and conditioning coach coming into a boxing camp, more so
injury
than
prevention.
Conditioning. It's the injury prevention skills that they have. Like if you find the right strength and conditioning coach, not any strength and conditioning coach, because you got strength and conditioning coaches that just put fucking hard workouts together and think because it's a hard workout, it's good for you. No. We're talking about strength and conditioning coaches that truly understand the anatomy, that understand injuries, that understand how to properly work the imbalances and to help you with posture, help you with stretching, help you with recovery. If you can find those type of strength and conditioning trainers that are like / physical therapist type, those are the guys you want for professional boxing.
Shout out to my boy Chris Holiday. He's one of them dudes. Trust and you know him. He came to the gym one time. He's one of those. What you just said, all kind of shit, neurological things. Not only just performance through like lifting and all that, but not only just the tendon strength and all that, but even the neurological in reaction. I learned a lot of that shit from him. A lot of the stuff that I do with the balls and all that pause, I learned from him, and I developed my own style with it. That's why I say pause. Yeah, that's why I said
your own style with the balls. What are you talking about, dog?
Yeah. Yo, you would know. You'll see it, and yo, he's a dirty dude. Yo, nah, but look, he helped me a lot, man, with that shit, that balance. Like I said,
I bet he did, Eddie.
Not with the balls, though. No, but nah, because he used to play high level basketball. So he's like a phys ed teacher too. But he's like he's really good as far as a personal trainer when it comes to, I'm not gonna say the word, but as far as certain different things, but neurological, get your eyes involved in what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's not just physical, like lifting weights and pumping weights up and lifting all the heavy weights. Not all about that. It's about how the body moves naturally and how to assist the body to become better and more efficient. And I think that's something like a guy like him, without a doubt, to be beneficial to a team.
Yeah, without a doubt. Those are the kind of people that I think that would help boxers more so, because the boxing workout, the boxing regimen on its own is grueling. Like I tell this to people all the time, man. Let's just go over a boxing routine. Jumping rope, shadow boxing, hitting heavy bags, hitting mitts, sparring, which is a simulation of a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Calisthenics. I mean, most trainers are going to put their fighters through some form of calisthenic training, push-ups, pull-ups, body weight squats, lunges, burpees, the basic stuff, core, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then most fighters are going to implement some sort of a running schedule as well, which will be either 3 to 6 days a week of running, right? Just depends on the athlete. Think about how much that is. And now you want to bring in a strength and conditioning coach who's also gonna have you doing some sort of weights and some sort of explosive movements and stuff of that nature. Do you see what I'm saying? And some boxing coaches understand medicine ball work, so they'll have their fighters slamming the medicine ball and doing all that stuff as part of the boxing routine, the sledgehammer on the tires, the combat ropes. You got boxing coaches who already implement that into their regimen, depending on the coach. So the boxing routine, it's very grueling itself. And depending on the knowledge of your coach will depend on what you do. For instance, like Boots, right? We know Boots personally. We know his father personally. His father had him climbing rope. You know what I'm saying? Doing a lot of those old school throwback exercises. You know what I'm saying? Flipping the heavy tires, doing the chopping the wood with the axe. You see what I'm saying? This is strength and conditioning as well. It's just everybody uses strength and conditioning as a terminology, but the truth is strength and conditioning is a byproduct of boxing, and a lot of boxing coaches are already implementing their own fashion of strength and conditioning. Let's not forget that most fighters are sprinting. Some fighters are swimming. Some fighters are doing these things, and these are all being controlled by the boxing coach. So now you bring in a strength and conditioning coach, and now it's like, why? So when I say bring in a strength and conditioning coach, it's for, like I said, the other stuff, the stuff you were talking about, Eddie, is a benefit, injury prevention, maybe a fighter's dealing with some sort of a weird leg issue, a hamstring issue, help him work through that. Or maybe you're dealing with some sort of a posture issue, help him work through that. A lower back issue, help him work through that. A hand issue, help him work through that. That's where these experts can come in and really benefit a fighter, if that makes sense.
That's a fact. That's 100%. There's so much, off the beat. Not necessarily what we typically do in boxing. That strength and conditioning obviously a strength and conditioning coach can definitely assist. Like it's like a lot of the things I said. Things that like I said, boxing coaches don't really understand. You know what I mean? And even if they do, it's like sometimes, like you said, some of these guys, they'll just have them, because it's hard. They think it's good. You know what I'm saying? And that's not. It needs to be. I'm not saying it got to be super scientific, but you do have to understand what you got your guy doing. You can't just say, man, you got to go out here and throw this big ass tire over a mountain. Like, what the hell kind of dumb shit? Like, it's got to make sense, and it's got to be something that's been proven to have worked. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these guys just do it because they feel that it's hard and it's going to make their guy, have to go through some adversity. And to a degree that's applicable and that's necessary, but not things that are going to risk injury. You understand what I'm saying? I think you need to. It's like, I'm gonna say this one thing real quick. When I went over there when I was in the UK, and I told you I did that 15 miles with going in the shitty water and running up the sand dunes and lifting, carrying 260, 270 pound dudes, and wrestling and throwing them out around and shit. Like, all of that stuff was great. But when Tyson came back, because Tyson wasn't doing it. When Tyson came back, Tyson was like, man, I ain't doing that shit. One of the guys literally almost fell off a mountain because he was up there running that. And he fell, but he didn't fall all the way down and get hurt. But could have easily been like a fucking, career-ending injury. And Tyson looked and said, yo, I think he did it once. He's like, man, I ain't doing that again. Told Peter, look, I ain't doing that no more. It's too dangerous, too risky. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. The work was worth it to a degree, but it wasn't worth it if you're going to get an injury. If you're going to lose out on $5 million or $5 or $10 million for a fight because of a stupid ass injury from doing something that could be good, but too dangerous, stupid.
Yeah,
so you got to know.
It's like if you go to a strength and conditioning coach and he has you do a super intense leg workout when you're going to spar that. Or something like that. Like it's like yo, we're sparring later today, and you're gonna kill his legs. Like, I'm trying to say.
And dudes will do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guys will do that because they just want to say, "You're sore? All right, it's working." It's like, no, there has to be some understanding of what the boxing regimen is, what the fighter's going to go through in order for him to perform. This is a different thing than just getting results. It's about performance. And when you're already boxing, you're already working hard enough. And then what happens is, and this will be probably the end of this because we kind of turned this into a strength and conditioning topic. It's like a whole nother podcast in one day. But
that's right.
What happens is guys will now start saving their energy for their strength and conditioning, and they'll pull back from the boxing because they want to save their energy for the strength and conditioning. And what we have to realize is that the boxing is the most important. I had a fighter, I'm not going to say his name, who's a highly talented fighter. He likes to, I don't know if he still does this, but run hard before his boxing training. And I was like, listen, stop running before you box, because what's happening is when it's time to shadow box, hit the bag in the mid work, you're not giving me everything you got now. After the run, you're already wasted. Like he would run 4 miles hard with a sauna suit on just because he liked to sweat. And then when it was time to box, his shadow boxing would be like this. His mid work would be like this. The heavy bag work suffered. And I was like, listen, had you just saved your run for the end of your boxing, that would have been better, because now you're not cheating your boxing. Or if you ran at a separate time, run in the morning, box at night, or box in the morning, run at night. So you're equally strong for each routine. Right. But some guys want to get it all done at one time because they just want to be done with it and then have the rest of the day to themselves. But you're cheating yourself. That's why a lot of fighters that are highly leveled, they train 2-3 times a day. They got their time slots because they understand I need strength for this, I need strength for this, and I need strength for this. You have enough time to recover, eat, rest, come back to the next workout. Some guys just go and they kill themselves in one workout, and something in the workout is gonna suffer. And you have to understand, for boxing, it's about performing in a boxing ring. So we need that to be optimal. That's number one. Everything else is supplemental.
Yep.
So that's that. That's our game for that. However we got into that freaking discussion, that kind of just went to a whole other thing. I hope that provided value for you guys. We've been on here for 1 hour and 37 minutes. Actually, a good amount of people in here for this time of night. I'm actually quite surprised that this late people are in here. I do want to say thank you to everybody who's in here. Please, guys, go to the website. Tomorrow is the last episode of No Days Off November. The final last episode. We have dropped so much game over the last month. I don't know if everybody in here has seen every single episode, but I can guarantee you, if you go back and just start off and watch some of the ones that we did in the gym and some of the other ones that we've done, there's just a whole bunch of value. I think this was probably our most beneficial No Days Off November yet out of the 3 that I've done. 3rd annual one. Super proud of it. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been part of this journey and who showed up every single episode. A lot of you guys did show up every episode. Had to block a few people, Eddie. I didn't want to block a few people, but a few people got out of character. Had to block them. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can understand that this is still a place of respect and we don't tolerate disrespect. And if they wouldn't be respectful, they wouldn't get blocked. You know what I'm saying? But that's really what's going on. The sale, the biggest sale that I've ever done in my entire life. I say this genuinely, guys. Go take advantage of it. I already raised the prices on the individual courses from $47 to $97. $97 was the biggest sale I think I did. That's $200 cheaper than what I usually sell them for. And now people are looking at $97 like that's expensive because they got spoiled with the $47. I told everybody that the $47 wasn't going to last and the $297 is not going to last. I allowed the $297 to rock out because we got a couple more days in November. I'm like, yo, let's just go ahead and give it to them for the month. And that's going to get raised. So anybody who's watching this, please, guys, take advantage of it. I will be raising the prices gradually. By the time we get to 2024, it's going to be a whole nother thing, a whole nother approach. So please be on the lookout. If you're on the fence, don't be. We can guarantee you. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee on the courses. You ain't got nothing to lose. Go grab them. If you don't like them, you know what I'm saying? Get on a call with me and let me know why you don't like them. If you got a valid reason, I'll give you your money back. It's that simple. you know, it's not. There's really nothing to lose, man. You have everything to gain. You can see me and Eddie are here to help you guys. So again, tomorrow is the very last episode of No Days Off November. I want to say thank you to everybody who showed up. Any final words, Eddie?
Oh man, just look, man. We appreciate the support, and we're gonna definitely support who support us. We're gonna keep the fire coming. We're gonna keep the information coming. As long as y'all keep the love and support, we got you.
All right. Say less, y'all. Have a good
What's
night.
going on, guys? Your boy, Coach Anthony, and of course, none other than world-class professional fighter, Fast Eddie Chambers. Black Friday, everybody's favorite time of the year. But why are we gonna wait? We ain't waiting until Black Friday. I want to give you guys the biggest opportunity that I have ever given to grab all 16 of my masterclass courses for over 90% off. I've sold these courses previously for $300 a pop, and now you can grab all 16 for less than the price of one. I want you guys to head over to CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, and if you want to grab one course at a time, you can also grab those courses for only $47. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, this sale is not gonna last. So what I'm gonna need you to do is go to the website and grab it now, because as soon as I raise the prices, not only am I gonna raise the prices, I'm gonna charge more than I've ever charged, because the value inside of these courses are second to none. Oh, and how can I forget? Every single person who grabs the Master Boxing Bundle is going to get enrolled to the CA Boxing University, which is a private community where you can upload your sparring, ask questions 24/7, show your heavy bag work, basically share your journey with a bunch of like-minded people. This is a no-brainer, guys. So you guys already know what to do. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Boxing up.
Yo. All right, man. We out of here, y'all. Peace.